I'm really glad that my children no longer have wobbly heads. So,
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
What are you saying about my grandkids?
No. All right. So I love my kids. I love the age they're at right now. But the age that I'm most challenged by in terms of raising children is the little bitty babies with the wobbly heads. Yeah. I don't even want to hold I know that's awful. Awful. I get that that's a me problem, but it's just like, no, I don't. Do you want to hold the baby? No, I don't. No. When the baby no longer has a wobbly head and I can throw the baby in the air, that's when I want to deal with it.
I threw you in the air when you had a wobbly head. I did.
My kids no longer have wobbly heads; they have wobbly brains, is what they have right now. But we're working on raising them right. We're raising them up the way that she goes, so that when they're old, they will not depart from it. That's the goal.
I've got a flat head on this side because my parents just left me in the crib on my back for a long time, and as soon as my older son saw that, he goes, "Dad, tummy time is important."
Yeah, don't forget the tummy time.
Don't forget I go, yeah, it wasn't important in my life. So whenever I sleep, my head tilts this way because it's flat on this side. And I always have a cowlick on this side of my head because of it. So tummy time, it's important.
So in this episode, we're talking about children, student ministry, the way kids are being raised. Ryan has all sorts of data. But before we get to the data and the facts, we want to talk about Rooted. The Rooted experience can help you create a discipleship culture that connects your people and leads to ongoing life change in Jesus. Rooted is several things. It's a proven plan to help people connect to God. It's a sustainable way to launch groups. And it's an approach to discipleship that helps people step out of their comfort zones and experience life-changing rhythms of discipleship. It's great. It's curriculum.
One of my favorites, Sam.
So if you're like, well, what is this? Like, go to experiencerooted.com/churchanswers. That way we get credit for it. Link in the show notes, experiencerooted.com/churchanswers. They got some free resources there, all sorts of information. So it's like, what is this exactly? It's a study. It's a guide. It's curriculum. However, it can be so much more. And it's the churches that do this rave about it.
Absolutely. Find out about it, do it. And just think of some of the names around it. Michael Kelly, Earl, Eric. I mean, you can just go down the list. There's just so many cool leaders there.
Yeah. We had Eric Geiger on the show a while back about mega churches, by the way, and his church is doing phenomenally well. It comes out of Mariners Church. They've got an incredible team there. We could talk at length about their team. They're really, really good people. But for now, what you need to do is to go to experiencerooted.com/churchanswers and check out all that they have to offer. All right, Ryan, welcome back to the Burge Report, the show that bears your name. Why are the kids not doing well? What's going on?
Oh, man. They're not hanging out. Like I don't know. They use the word hanging out.
End of show. That's all you need to know.
They're not doing stuff. Like it's like the best ideas like in social science are like, there's a concept called parsimony, which is explaining like something really complex with a really simple idea, right? So like you want a simple theory you can explain in 5 seconds. Everyone goes, that makes a lot of sense. And here's the one here. The kids aren't hanging out anymore, and it's probably because of the phones. Like they're not doing social stuff at rates that we've never seen before. And this is the vibes. You hear people say, oh, the kids are being antisocial. I'm like, well, that's the vibes. I can tell you based on the data, like tracking high school seniors going back to the mid 1990s, that this is not just the vibes. This is actually empirically true. It's almost impossible to refute with any data I've ever seen. The generation of kids today are less social than the generation of kids from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and 30 years ago. That's the facts.
And that's Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I assume.
Yeah, there's no reason to think that Gen Alpha is going to be any different than Gen Z on these metrics. Actually, I think in some ways they might be worse. Although, like my youngest, like he has a phone now. Don't yell at me, whatever. But like he doesn't take it everywhere with him.
You give a phone to your youngest?
He's 11.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to middle school. He's going to middle school. And when you go to middle school, you got practices, you got this, that, and the other thing.
Hey, Ryan, I could care less. You just said don't yell, and that just made me yell.
But no, I mean, I think like what's fun about him is like when we go to a restaurant, he won't even take his phone out. You know what I mean? Like, when we're waiting for the food after you order it, and we're all just sitting there at the table. Like, he won't take, and I won't take my phone out either. I think he's kind of watching what I'm doing because I want to be social, And so I do think there is a maybe, like, since they grew up with phones, they can think about it in a different way than other generations who adopted them without thinking too much about them. But I still think that, man, the macro level forces are not towards just hanging out, being social.
So my daughters, one of their favorite things to do now is to walk to Target.
Oh.
The friends come over, and we have a Target. So where I live is a little denser community. It's not quite urban, although close. It's definitely not suburban because we live in the city. But we have my kids have it's a more walkable community in Bradenton. Let me just say that. So they have the ability just to walk to Target. And one of their favorite things to do is to take that, I don't know, it's probably a mile walk to Target, a mile walk back, hang out there. They've earned a little bit of money, dog sitting or whatever it is, and go buy whatever they want to buy at either Five Below or Target. Again, like, what are we talking about? Kids just aren't doing that anymore. They're not walking to Target. They're just hanging out with it. What do you want to do today? Well, let's just go walk down to Target.
Well, Maggie reads 4 books a day, so she's different anyway.
Yes, yeah. So, Maggie's the one where I don't have to tell her to put her phone down. I have to tell her to put the book down.
God bless her.
I don't know. It's great. It's
She
wonderful.
walks around. She literally walks around like this whenever we go somewhere. She'll walk around like this,
Yeah. For those of you who are listening instead of watching on YouTube, he's got his nose in a book. So Ryan, let's talk facts because that's what you do.
Yeah.
The percentage of antisocial high schoolers has quintupled since 1995. 5 times as many antisocial teenagers. What on earth?
So the way I did it was I looked at 3 separate questions that have been asked consistently, and one was about dating. So the share of high school seniors who go on a date.
Did you kiss dating goodbye, Ryan?
Josh Harris did not. He told people to stop buying that book.
I know. That's why I'm bringing it up. I remember that book when I was in college, and I'm like, this is a really bad idea.
It is.
And everyone thought I was crazy. I guess I wasn't crazy.
That guy made a mint off. He wrote that book when he was 20 years old. There should be a lesson there that we should not let 20-year-olds write books.
This is a First Amendment issue, so
I think there's some free market stuff going on here that may be at risk.
Can they write books? Sure. Do they have to get a publishing deal to publish the book? No, they don't.
I'm sure the publisher was happy with it.
Oh gosh, I wonder if they even refused his request to stop printing the book. They're like, well, we're still making money off this book 20 years later. Let's go. But the share of high school seniors who have gone on a date once a month or less has basically doubled since the mid 1990s, from 34% to now 71% of high school seniors did not go on a date last month. Like, wow, what in the, like, they're 18, 17, 18 years old. These aren't like 13-year-olds. Okay. Like, these are adults now, like physically, like they're to the point in life where they can,
but their frontal lobe is not fully formed.
That is correct. But
they should be dating. They should be
dating. Like, they should be going like with someone that they want to maybe figure out whether they like this person or not and go on a date. Like, I went on dates. I mean, I'm not that old. Sam and I were about the same age. Like, we went on dates in the early 2000s.
Pretty old.
Oh, well, Tom took him to the sock hop.
Yeah.
I didn't miss it by too much, actually. I mean, my first date was 1968.
Yeah, you didn't miss it by maybe like 5-10 years, potentially.
Yeah.
The one thing that I never want to discuss on this podcast is my high school dating record. It's not what I want to discuss.
I liked it, Sam.
You guys got a real kick out of the people that I chose to date. Yeah, I know.
No.
It was a running joke in the family.
It put you in a place where you ask me to find you someone to date.
I don't know that it's exactly the way that it went down, but yes, I was set up on a blind date with my current wife, and by current I mean my only wife. I don't mean
my only wife.
Yeah, it's not like there's
just
anything
took a turn.
No, I mean we've been married almost 20 years, and we're doing really, really well.
You started dating your wife right now.
how old was when I started dating?
Yeah, when you
my
start
wife?
dating your wife. Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Like I said,
Well,
I don't want to talk about this, but since it is the subject matter, so yeah, I was 23, and she had just turned 18.
This is scandalous.
That's what I mean. Like, this is not what I want to talk about.
This is scandalous. And your wife just had a birthday, I saw on Facebook. So happy birthday to her.
number
Yeah, well, at the
40
time of this recording, it would have been a while
Yeah.
back. She's 40.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? She put up with you for 20 plus years now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you count dating. Yeah, 22
My-
years.
Wait, how
So-
long did you date before you got married?
We were actually engaged for like a year and a half. And I didn't want to, I waited to propose to her till after her birthday because I didn't want to be engaged to a teenager.
Wow.
So,
Wait. How old were you? How old was she when you guys got married?
21.
Oh, okay. I'll allow 21's allow like in the gray zone of like acceptability.
So,
if you would have said 19, I'd been like, back up, dude. Like, this ain't good.
21. We got engaged right after she turned 20 that summer because she turned.
Wait. You were thinking about proposing to a girl who was a teenager?
yes. Oh, yes.
She had already, no. She had already printed off the ring that she wanted and handed it to me.
Did you get that ring?
Of course I did.
Sure, Ryan. He's not stupid.
What if it was like a $12,000 ring?
I was
too
working.
frugal.
I was doing very well in the corporate world at that time.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And,
so you
and
had-
I'd already bought her a car.
God. This is taking a turn. Right
Yeah, I
now.
know.
I don't
So-
know.
So the whole
The title of this podcast
I
is
know,
The
I know.
Kids Aren't
And I
All
know-
Right, including my
Sam, it's
daughter-in-law.
not right. Not.
we have a wonderful marriage. My wife is amazing. We have a very healthy place. So I'm happy. I'm a very happy.
You basically bought her love. That's what this sounds like.
No, the Beatles
No,
said,
you can't do that with my wife. My wife cares nothing for money. She cares nothing for money.
Mine's the same. She really doesn't care at all.
Yeah,
Not even a little bit.
Yeah,
But she can't figure out how she gets to go to Disney all the time.
like we do. Yes, we have Disney passes, but all that she cares about is, can I spend some money at the dollar store? That's all she cares about.
My wife too, man. Like she
I know.
does not care about that. It's amazing. Like
small town gal. That's Erin.
yeah,
small
like
town
it's just.
gal.
And the thing is, like the difference in my wife and your wife is when my wife and I started dating, like I had no money and we didn't have any money for the first like 5 years we were married. I was in grad school. I made pennies, man. Like I think our income the entire year was like $50,000 a year for like the first 8 years we were married. Like we did not have anything at all. And I think, by the way, coming from that is such a good thing because it's like, you know, there's no like ulterior motive there. And people like, you get a prenup. I go, half of nothing's nothing. And we got married. We had nothing, man. So by the way,
so you and I have very similar stories. Maybe you're closer.
some ways.
Yeah, and closer.
But I was 19 and she was 17. Okay. So like we're 18 months apart, a little bit different.
At least my wife was 18 when we started.
You were
dating.
27 at the time.
No, 23. 23. Come on, man. All right.
You were out of college. Wait. Was she in high school and you were out of college?
We had so she had just graduated. Yeah, she was out of high school. I did not date.
You didn't take
high
her to
school.
prom, did you?
No.
No. Oh my god!
So-
This is the best episode we've ever done. I want you to know that.
It's the most awkward and maybe one of the most viewed. I don't know. So
Okay,
let's
back to the kids. Back to the
let's-
kids.
Let's stop psychoanalyzing. Like I said, we don't want to go there with my dating background.
Hey, but you know what? You're married. You got a wonderful marriage. You got great
going great.
kids. You're doing
Four awesome
fine.
kids.
You know what?
I found his wife
Where?
in my church. I was an interim pastor in a church.
See?
He said, go find me a godly, attractive lady.
Yeah,
And
that's not exactly it. But I was set up on a blind date with Aaron. That is how it started. So
You know what? I really do believe, though, at the end of the day, like how you got together is less consequential than you have like a successful relationship. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. And maybe Tom should have a side business where he's a matchmaker because it sounds like he's one for one.
That's the only one I've ever tried.
sure.
Well,
So church attendance is part of this. Back to the
yeah,
subject
no.
at hand.
So the kids are not dating. Like that's the big upshot here is like the vast majority of high school seniors are not going on a date on a regular basis. By the way, the data also says that young people are not having sex at nearly the rate that young people did, 30 years ago, which we can, you know,
let's celebrate the fact
celebrate
that
the celibacy.
Celebrate the celibacy. Teen pregnancy rates are down by 75% from the early 1990s.
Wow.
So it's not a contraception issue.
No.
Because it was available
It's
then.
an abstinence issue.
Well, so I will say it probably is partly that because now they have the IUD, which is easier, longer term, and actually safer and more effective than taking the pill because you don't have to remember anything. But that can't be that can't explain all of it. It just doesn't work that way. So it used to be that 6 women per 1,000 were teen moms, and now it's 1.5 women per 1,000 are teen moms. So a reduction from 6 to 1.5. Now teen pregnancy is incredibly rare in this country. So I think we can all celebrate that as being a good thing for really everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's whatever is happening there for whatever reason. The fact that teen pregnancy rates are down is a good thing.
It is.
That's a good thing.
But one of the reasons it's down is because kids aren't dating anymore.
Right. Yeah, they're not. Unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say this, they're not fooling around, which as a pastor, I would encourage them not to do.
Yes.
Let's stay pure in your marriage. Let's stay pure for marriage and stay holy in your activity, every activity that you do, whatever that is. But this idea of, hey, I like this person, let's go hang out. Wow, maybe I want to date you. Maybe and that kind of awkward sort of, should I put my arm around you? We're at the movie theater. Should I hold your hand? That kind of stuff isn't happening.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing is a lot of these things I'm telling you about, you want to go oh, that's really bad, but there's a good part to it. There's this it's this very conflictual thing, right?
So Maggie is 15, Bryn's very soon to be 13. Bryn's a little young to be dating, but Maggie, I would love for her to go on a date. At the time of this recording, she hasn't yet, and she's a little young. She's young for her grade too.
Sure.
So she's not quite driving and all that stuff. So there's some reasons for that, but I'm ready for her to do that. Obviously, with a godly young man, a man who's going to treat her in an honorable way.
Tom, you got to get to looking, buddy.
No, I want her to. You got to walk through that awkward stuff, man. Otherwise, you stay awkward.
I listen. I think if you marry the first person you ever date, you're always going to wonder compared to what. You know what I mean? Was this the right person compared to somebody else in my life?
Back to my dating career, I am well aware. I've got a good one. I've got a really, really good one.
Well, she doesn't know that because you were probably the first one out of the chute for her, and she got no comparison case.
No. Erin dated plenty of guys before me. She was known as the heartbreaker. In fact, what she thought about our dating relationship when we started was, I'll date him for the summer, then I'll dump him and I'll go to college. So that was what she had in her mind when we started dating. She was going to break my heart.
But you managed to convince her that you were the man of her dreams.
I don't know if she would put it that way, but yes, I was able to convince her to marry me. Yes.
Well done. It's because of the car you bought her and the ring.
I did. No, that came later. That's not how the dating relationship started. But
so Ryan,
she had a 1978 baby blue, all interior and exterior Pontiac Grand Prix V8.
Ooh, that's quite nice.
And she drives like a NASCAR driver, and she blew up the engine. And her dad was like, "I'm not getting you another car."
Wait. So what did you buy her as a replacement?
A Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Oh, that's such a stereotypical girl car.
It was back then, and it worked.
Can I talk about my dating relationship?
No, no, because I don't want to hear about mom and stuff. No.
Was there someone before Nellie Joe out there that we don't know about?
Yeah, and there was someone before Thom. We double dated.
Oh.
She dated the person that let me see if I can get this right. She dated my best friend, and I dated my best friend's present wife.
Oh, so you guys crossed basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they make reality TV shows about that now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I remember asking my best friend, "Can we trade?" I actually asked him that.
And he said,
"It's up to them." I said, "Okay." So I called up Nellie Joe, and it took her 6 times to say yes. But
the line between persistence and stalking is very thin. You realize that?
It's worth it.
It all worked out in the end. Look at you now.
48 years.
God bless you.
So
Now we can get back to the what are we talking about?
We're talking about
Yeah,
dating.
The kids
By the way,
aren't-
to pivot from dating, it's not just dating. People are asked that, do you go out for fun or recreation? Like, how often do you go out for fun or recreation? Which is like the most boring way to say, like, do you hang out? Like, how often do you hang out? And 46% of high school seniors today say they hang out once a week or less. 46% hang out once a week or less. It was only 22% in the 1990s. Doubled. The share of high school seniors who are not hanging out has doubled since the mid 1990s.
I was hanging out like every day.
Me too.
Yeah, it's almost it was seriously every day.
I found a room where nobody was.
Yeah, you're an introvert. You're an introvert.
Are you really?
So Wednesdays at church, Sundays at church, obviously Fridays and Saturdays. There's four days right there, and then usually it's Thursday night or something, right? You know, I was doing something. So it was rare. I was out more than I was in the home.
Me too. Oh, I was never home. By the time I got my license at 16, I was never home. Never. I didn't want to be home. Not that it was a bad place, but I wanted to hang out, with my friends and people at the church. And we just get in the car and cruise. Like, this is like, makes you sound old right now. We would literally, one or two of my buddies, we'd get in their car. We'd find $5 for gas, because that's, gas was 99 cents a gallon those days. And we'd literally just drive the east-west route through Salem, Illinois, back and forth, and just see who was cruising and who wanted to just sit around in parking lots and talk, and who knew where the day was going to end up once you started doing that. That was what we did. And let me tell you, those days
for
were
the
so much
city boy, it was in the Highlands. I went to high school in Louisville, so we go down to the Highlands and just hang out,
Just
all
hang
over the
out.
Highlands. Yeah.
So let's talk about church.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these young people in church, and ultimately, I want you to listen to the church student ministry aspect of this. So,
Yeah.
talk to us about that, Ryan.
Yeah. So the thing is, the data says that people, young seniors, so 12th graders, who are more religiously active are less likely to be antisocial than high school seniors who don't go to church. Which actually tracks exactly the way that you would think it would track in your mind. Because when you go to church, you're around people, and people might come to you afterward and say, hey, you want to go to lunch? Or you want to do a little date, on Tuesday night, or we got a youth group trip to the snow cone place, or the putt golf. Social things lead to social things. And the data is really clear on this, is antisocial people are antisocial across the board. So it's not like there's high school seniors, a large number of them, who just go to church and do nothing else socially. If they're doing that, they're doing other things that are also social that probably emerge from their church family and the youth group and the friends that they make there. So, I think one really clear upshot for me for youth ministry people is find ways to, outside your typical youth ministry Wednesday night Bible study and Sunday afternoon gathering, to do other stuff, to give them opportunities to hang out and go eat snow cones and go do mini golf and do, all the things that would give them a social life. Because look, by default now, they're not going to do that. And you need to help them have the structure to make that happen.
We call it after hours at West
I like it.
Bradenton. We call it after hours. And actually it is later. So this is like, you do your church thing, and then after, particularly in the summer, we do it a lot in the summer, after some sort of church event or something where it's multi-generations mixing in, then at church, you're going to get a bunch of generations mixing in, and that's really good for them too. But then after hours, they get to go hang out with just themselves. So last night, actually, they did kickball. It was after hours. It was dark out, even though it was the summer. So they stayed up late playing kickball in the field. And I think it was a glow in the dark ball or something like that. Anyway, that's what they were doing after hours. And churches, this is where civic organizations are really on the decline across the board, but churches still have the ability to capture this time with people. And it's not just students, obviously, but we're talking about kids. It's really beneficial to all people, but young people especially need that opportunity to not only mix in with other generations in an informal way, but also just hang out time with their friends. The idea of the church as that social impact place, or third place as sometimes it's called. I don't know how much I like that term, but I get the principle of it.
Yeah.
It's hugely beneficial to that 15, 16, 17-year-old.
If I could give any message to pastors is that your church has a vertical and a horizontal dimension, and you don't neglect the horizontal, the social dimension of what you do and the value that can have. Like, there's this great tweet I read that said, like, this guy's like, I was depressed my entire life, and I learned a really hard fact about depression. To beat it, leave your house as much as you can, even if you don't want to. Like,
I don't
just
like doing
go.
that.
I know you don't, Thom, but guess what? The data says hanging out with people is a really good way to increase your mental health. It's really that simple. I mean, and I think a lot of people like have depression, but not like clinical depression, but they like getting outside and seeing other people will raise their spirits a little bit. And guess what? We can think about like the salvific, the theologically salvific part of church, but isn't that kind of salvific in a way too? Like, it saves them from themselves and their own, mental illness and demons that they're struggling with. Like, we've got to think about the value in both ways, because listen, for some people, they won't go because the belief's a hard thing for them, but they'll go because they see the social value in going. Give them that opportunity too, and they might find the other value later.
And we have people in our church that are there for that reason. And they've actually come and they've sat down with me and they've said, I'm not quite where you are politically, Sam. I'm not quite where you are doctrinally. In fact, that some of them aren't even believers. Mm-hmm. And they have sat down with me and they said, these are people who are obviously trying to be very intentional about their lives, regardless of what they believe. Yeah. And I respect that. And they've asked the question, like, how is it okay for me to be here? And I always say, absolutely, it's okay for you to be here. Just so you know where we're coming from, we're a gospel people. You're going to hear a gospel message. You're going to hear this doctrine that you want to be very upfront about who we are. But if you want a place for your kids to hang out that's safe and that they're going to be respected and that they're going to find some friends, come on. And I think churches have allowed themselves to be a bit too much of a fortress set off from the community. Mm-hmm. Instead of this mechanism for people in the community.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was talking to my buddy just today about the things in college that we love the most. And you know what it was? It was never the planned events, like the lock-ins and the things. You know what it was? Just hanging out, like watching movies together, just like living life together in a random, unplanned, unstructured way. And guess what? That's what church should probably be, right? Just giving kids time to like hang out and play kickball after church, where you get the mingling with the different people, the older and the younger, and this, this group and that group, but then you kind of draw off to the side and you hang out with people who are like you. Man, both those experiences are so, like, as a guy who studies social science all day long, that's like as good as it gets. You get the benefits of both groups. You get the mental health. You get the relationships. Guess what? You might find a boyfriend or a girlfriend on the kickball field.
Our future wife.
Or a future wife.
Our husband.
Exactly right.
Before we go, I'm going to give a plug, but I'm going to thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a lot of information about this in a book called The Anxious Generation Goes to Church. Forward by Ryan P. Burge.
I wrote it. You better believe it. It's awesome.
Patrick?
Perry. I'm actually the fourth. Our Perry Burge is fourth generation in my household.
All right.
I've got another book, by the way. Ryan.
That's my book.
All of your books say Ryan P. Burge?
Yeah, they do.
I just haven't paid attention.
Well, because there's a soccer player. There's a soccer player in England who's named Ryan Burge, and apparently he's a real piece of work, because some people tweet at me occasionally about how much I'm awful on the pitch. So, I had to differentiate myself a little bit. So Ryan P. Burge, it's always been that way.
Well, you know what? Speaking of soccer, let's talk about Upward. How about
Look at that transition?
How about that segue? All right. Upward's great. They are a bridge into your community. So let's take this conversation and wrap it around something very practical. How do you do this? How do you get hangout time? How do you get the community together, just interacting? How do you get students off their phones and actually just communicating with people? Upward can do all of this for you. So everything in this episode, minus Sam's weird dating, that whole conversation about me dating, Upward can do it for you. And they will walk you through everything. They will train and equip your church to be that bridge into the community. They've got pickleball, which is not Ryan's favorite because he's a tennis player or whatever. but it is my dad's favorite.
Pickleball.
My dad loves pickleball. They have all sorts of programs. Get started now. So this is a great time of season for you to begin planning for 2026, doing some things very soon. Take this opportunity. They are giving churches 2 free net sets for pickleball. So if you're like, I would love to do pickleball.
I mean, you got to do net sets of pickleball. I
know. It's great.
Pickleball.
It's great copy. Thank you. Upward.
Net sets pickleball.
2 free net sets for pickleball. It just rolls right off the tongue. So, just so you know where you can go claim those net sets while supplies last. Just while supplies last. So go ahead and get them.
Got to get a net set for pickleball.
Upward.org. There's 200 of them they're giving away. It's actually really generous of them.
It is.
Upward.org/pickleball. That's where you go. Upward.org/pickleball. Be the neighborhood church. That's one of their new slogans. I love it. Be the neighborhood church. Upward.org/pickleball. We'll see all of you next episode.